Power up the mic, now it's time to play. Where the grind hour meets, where the gamers stay. From the field screen, we breaking the line. It's the gamer sideline, where legends align. Lichemax loading plays like he's drawing the plan. Kinetik bringing fire like he's leading the band. No matter the game, no matter the sport, we running this pod like it's fourth and short. Press start, lock in. It's game time again. You tune in live to the Sideline Show with Kinetik and Lichemax. Let's go. The gamer sideline starts now.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Gamer Sideline Football Fridays. This is where the sports meet the sticks and the stories get pixel deep. I messed up that intro, but it doesn't matter. I'm your host, Mike, aka Lichemax, and over here we got the man, the myth, the legend himself, Kinetik. Let's go. So today we are talking a recap of Week 1, where we saw a lot of good things happening. We saw Bryce Underwood finally take the field, and I gotta say, Bryce looking nice out there. Did a really great job. There's a couple things that he's got to work on, like getting some touch on that ball, but I think he looked all right, in my opinion. What do you think, Kinetik?
Yeah, I mean, listen, nobody expected him to go out there and look like J.J. McCarthy the first week, but he also didn't look like a true freshman. If I was going to give some positive and some negative feedback, positive, he was quick, he was decisive, he had an average throw time from snap to throw of 2.2 seconds, which I know some people don't put any stock into that, but I do, because to me it shows that he's able to process the what's happening in front of him, make a decision, and act on it quickly. And as a Vikings fan, having sat through Sam Darnold with an average time of 7 seconds holding the ball last year, it was horrible. It was anxiety inducing. So to see him do what he did last week, Bryce, it was refreshing. On the flip side, he did tend to stare down receivers. He would go and a lot of the plays were 1 and 2 read progressions. He wasn't reading the whole field. He wasn't going through progressions from left to right across the field. But I think that was a lot of Chip Lindsey simplifying it for him and also trying to be very vanilla on defense the first week anyway to keep things in the bag for Oklahoma.
Right. Yeah.
I predicted this the week before the game that I didn't think we were going to blow them out like everyone was saying, because I didn't think we were going to do anything more than what we had to win the game.
I think we kept like the especially the offense, we kept it pretty vanilla, showing that we can pass the ball, showing that we can run the ball, especially like those couple runs we had with Justice Haynes, just completely blowing through that defensive line for big plays. I think he got 3 touchdowns that game on his own.
2 or 3. I'd have to look at the box score.
Yeah, I'll have to check the box score. But yeah, he was looking good out there. Definitely, it's definitely had to after that game had to send a message to some of my Alabama fans thanking them for giving us Justice.
I apologize.
Haynes.
Bryce's stat line was 21 of 31, 251 yards, but only 1 touchdown. No interceptions though. And
Justice Haynes ran for 159 for 3 touchdowns. His longest was a 59-yard run, which I think that's when he broke through
he broke 2 of them. I mean, he had 16 carries with that 159. That comes out to an average of 9.9, just barely under 10 yards per carry.
Yeah. Haynes was unstoppable out there. It was nice seeing a running back on our team that actually can find the holes week 1. Like, I know we had a lot of that issue week 1 last year, where for whatever reason Donovan just had no vision when it came to running the ball, which I think that kind of comes down to the offensive coordinator that we had and the coaches that we had behind him.
Now listen, I'm not gonna in any way act like Donovan Edwards has some kind of like world-class ball carrier vision and being able to see the holes. He doesn't. If you go back and look at his big runs that he had at Michigan, he either had a fucking hole in the line that you could drive your semi truck through, or or legitimately, he would literally like run into the back of one of his linemen and then bounce outside and get around guys.
Right.
But that said, I think last year's ineffectiveness was more a product of Kirk Campbell than of Donovan Edwards. That's my opinion on it.
I'd be inclined to agree with that, especially seeing like how we're doing this year. I mean, granted, it was New Mexico State. I get it. But I mean, we still did a lot better this year than we did last year. The same time, we improved. Definitely on the offense. I'm still kind of uncertain about the secondary. I mean, yeah, they did a good job, barring that targeting call, which I mean we all know. No, I don't think anybody agrees with it other than the NCAA. But I mean, it's. I mean, they upheld it, so there's not really much else we can do. So now let's move on. Let's talk about that Ohio State versus Texas game. That was a lot of people thought that was going to be the game for Arch Manning, his debut game in the as the leader of the offense. Bro looked all right. He did good. He didn't look good on the field, despite what the stats will say. The stats say 17 of 30. That's not very good, but he did beat out Ohio State quarterback Justice Sayin or
Julian Sayin.
Jordan Sayin. Yeah, I don't
Julian
know.
Sayin.
Julian Sayin. We'll get it there. I mean, it's Ohio State. It doesn't matter. I'm just kidding.
Well, I'll say this. So I did have the game on. I was not watching it like locked into it. I was half watching it, half listening to it. So I didn't see every throw in that game. I can tell you what I did see. Arch Manning for about 2.5 quarters looked very much like it was his first start in college football. He looked less poised than Bryce did. He's a redshirt sophomore, I think. I may be wrong on that.
I'll double check it.
But this is his first start. It was on the road in a big stadium. He looked the part. And I'm not trying to bash on Arch Manning.
He is a sophomore.
He looked shaky. He looked like nerves were getting him. Every throw was just inaccurate. It was either overthrown or it hit the dirt and it was underthrown.
And they were extremely wobbly throws. They weren't like those nice spiral throws that we were seeing. Like, for example, I mean, this is the best example we have to use right now. Like Bryce, a true freshman, he was throwing good spirals. Arch Manning, who is a sophomore, so he's been in college football for a couple years at least, and like. He was not looking good. Like he was out there looking almost like Jordan Davis. No, it would be Davis Warren. Yeah, he was out there looking like Davis Warren from us last year. But I mean, to his credit though, he did beat out Julian Sayin on completions versus attempts, or he had a worse percentage, but he did have more completions than Julian Sayin with 17 completions compared to Julian's 13. However, Julian only attempted to throw 20 times, whereas Manning tried 30. But Manning did get 170 yards compared to Sayin's 126. They both got touchdowns. They each got one touchdown, and although Manning has an interception on his record now. I think, I mean, if you just look at the stats itself, it looks like Manning was doing good. But if you watch the game,
while you're going through that, I need to step away real quick. I'll be right back.
All right, but I mean, if you watched the game, I mean, his throwing motion looked kind of wild. His actual passes did not look great. I just don't think that Manning was what everyone hyped him up to be. I definitely give credit to Ohio State's defense. They did a decent job at keeping the yards to a minimum. Although they did give up quite a few running yards when Texas decided to run. At least they got yards out. I mean, now when you look at the rushing yards, Wisner got 80 yards. Baxter got 40 yards, and then Arch even ran for about 38 yards, and Wingo got some rushes in there as well with 8 yards. I mean,
here's the thing. I don't think that Okay, listen. First of all, it's week 1. I do think Arch is good, and I think I think it's a little much of an overreaction to say that he's not good. It's week 1.
Yeah, I mean, and he was on the road
You have
in the
to really
toilet bowl.
take anything that happens in week 1 with a huge grain of salt. Okay.
I mean, the good news is that since he like this first game, Manning has set the bar extremely low for himself. So
That's
the
true.
the only direction he has to go is up. Like he can't go any lower than like. Although to be fair, I mean, if you look at the game stat, the tail of the tape here, you look at passing yards. Oh, Texas got 170. Ohio only got 126.
Yeah. So here's the thing with
Rushes
Ohio State.
166. They gave up 166 rushing yards. Ohio only got 77.
I
Total
do
yardage
think
was 336 for Texas. Ohio got 203.
okay. So here's the thing. I have said on shows before that I was a fan of Julian Sayans when he came out of high school. When he first went to Alabama, before he went to Ohio State. I'm not going to suddenly change what I've said and act like I didn't like the kid coming out of high school just because he went to our school's rival. I like saying, but he is limited. He's very intelligent football IQ wise, but his arm has limitations. And I think you saw that in the play calling for Ohio State. They're not going to ask him. They're not going to do the spread the field wide from sideline to sideline formations and ask him to throw outside of his range. So you're going to see a lot more short and mid-range throws from Sayan. I do think Sayan's going to be good. That said, I still do believe that Arch Manning ultimately will be a better quarterback than Julian Sayan, but I just think that he had a bad week 1. I expect him to get his feet under him and improve over the course of the season. And I don't think Sayan's bad either. He's got one of the best receiving core in the country, and he's got a great tight end. In my opinion, the weakness is the potentially the play calling of Brian Hartline and his own limitations at quarterback. I'm also not sold on the running backs, but I didn't think they looked horrible either. And speaking of that, in the same vein, with another game from last week, the Alabama-Florida State game, I don't think Alabama is necessarily as bad as they look to be in that game. I think Florida State is probably a lot better than we expected them to be. I, for one, did not give a whole lot of credit to Florida State's transfer quarterback. I can't remember his full name. I think it's Castellanos is his last name. But I did not think he was going to be good, and he blew my expectations out of the water. But I think that people are reading too much into it to think that Bama is bad. I still think Bama is going to be a decent team this year. I don't think they're going to be, like height of the Saban era Alabama, but I would say.
I mean, this
probably
is
10-2, 9-3, maybe.
This is Bama's first year without Saban, isn't it?
No, last year was the first year without Saban.
But right, because Saban left after we beat him in the playoffs, right?
Right. But if you look at Bama's schedule, like there's a lot of potential losses, but I do think that they're going to get better as the season goes on, and I don't see them getting more than 3 losses, and I would put them probably at 2 losses the rest of the season. But I think Florida State, having only won 2 games last year and bringing in a quarterback from Boston College, really surpassed a lot of expectations.
So I didn't watch the Bama Florida State game. I heard about it. I heard it was not a great game for Alabama, as we see by the stats here, 17-31. That's basically blowout territory right there. But if we look at the actual, like, break it down by the stats, we had Alabama getting 254 passing yards to Florida State's 152. So I mean, clearly Alabama was trying to get their yards through the air, it looks like, rather than on the ground, or they just didn't have a great ground game, because rushing yards, Alabama only got 74, and Florida State just did whatever they wanted. It looks like in this game because they got 230 rushing yards. Like that's insane. And it looks like almost all of their entire running back room got a carry. Like even the quarterback got in on the running. Like that everyone got to run in this game. You got Castellanos, I'll get it there. Got 78 yards rushing. That's the quarterback rushing right there. Danzy, he is a wide receiver. Holy crap. A wide receiver rushing for 56 yards on Alabama's defense. And then we finally, after going through the top 2 yardage on offense, we finally get to the first running back on Florida State's team with 31 rushing yards. And then we get another running back with 28 with Sawchuk. And then we get to Lucas here, another running back, 22 yards rushing. Williams with 14 yards rushing, and then Holmes with 7. Like that's most of the offense there got rushing yards on Alabama. Like, is their line just that bad, or were they trying something new on defense?
No, I just think in Alabama's case, I think it was that they ran into a team that was better than expected, that they underestimated, like most of us did, and it was week 1. Week 1 is always really jittery, especially with teams that have a lot of new units, new quarterbacks. They always seem to get off to a slow start in most cases. So I'm not really too worried about Alabama this year, or about them being bad.
Right. I mean, if we look over at the Alabama side of the stats, like their passing yards, Simpson, he did a really good job getting 254 passing yards, 23 completions for 43 attempts. So that's like a 50-50 shot at somebody catching the ball, basically. And then we got for the rushing yards, we got Kate Riley here. I think he's a running back going for 31 yards. Young running back going for 26. Hill 9. Simpson got some in there, but yeah, that looks like comparatively between the two, it looks like Florida State was just able to do whatever they wanted on Alabama's defense. Like I don't know if you caught the game. Do you have any notes on what you saw if you caught the game? And if anyone watching wants to come up, just let me know. I'll put the link in there.
I only caught the end of it, to be honest. I only caught the end of the game. So I didn't really get a huge read on how the flow of the game happened.
Right.
But based on what I've sort of went back and the highlights I've went back and watched, the reporting I've seen done on it, I'm not too worried about Alabama. I think they're going to be just fine.
Yeah, I mean, again, that's another team that set the bar really low for themselves coming out of the first week of this season. So I mean, all they can really do is go up from here. I mean, they could go down depending on what's on their schedule. I'd have to check their schedule. I don't know if you have the schedule ready to pull up or not. If not, don't worry about it.
Give me a second, and I should be able to get it really quickly.
Right. Because I mean, we could look at Alabama's schedule and we could see if it's possible, if they have room to turn around, or if this is going to be their lowest. If they have room to go down, or if this will be their lowest point.
So tomorrow they play at home against Louisiana Monroe, the Warhawks.
Okay, so that should be.
Is General Booty still the starting quarterback of ULM?
That
is just an A+ name for a team that's got uniforms named after or inspired by the P-40 Warhawk warplane.
So real quick, that is like the best name for a player right there, General Booty. Like almost as good as, what is it, the Western Michigan player, or is that Eastern Michigan? Noah,
yeah. And then there's another one I'll show you later, but dude, no, some of the names are hilarious, dude.
So I think so LSU Clemson.
So I didn't get to see LSU Clemson. I didn't get to watch that game. From what I've heard, Clemson played like shit, and LSU played really, really well. I don't have a lot of faith in Brian Kelly as a coach, but you know, it feels like if he was going to get it done, this would be the year.
Oh, here's the stats from LSU Clemson here. LSU won the game by 7 points. They were pretty consistent except for the first quarter. They gave up 3 points, and after that, it was basically the LSU show right there because you got 3 points in the second. Clemson got 7, so it looked pretty rough right there. Then 7-7 put them up to 17. If you look at the passing yards here, they were pretty even. It looks like on passing yards where they really looks like where they really got away from them is on the rushing yards. I mean, you got 246 to 230. That's pretty even on passing. So they were both able to pass pretty well against each other. But then when it came down to the ground game, LSU doing was just getting work done on the ground with 108 rushing yards and just limiting out Clemson down to only 31 rushing yards.
I mean, you have a better grasp on LSU's roster than I do since you play them in the league that we're in.
I mean, I'll be honest. Yeah, what's up?
I was gonna say real quick. Aside from our guy Noah, some of the funnier names in college football right now. At SMU, there's an offensive lineman whose name is King Large. There's of course General Booty. At Rocky Mountain, there's a wide receiver named Indiana Jones. At Montana, there's a guy named Tommy, but his nickname and his last name are what becomes funny because he's known as Tommy Running Rabbit. His last name is Rabbit. There's also a wide receiver at Kent State whose name is The Realist Clark. Might be some family of yours. And he might be the realest one. There's also
we got a Highlander
lineman
situation going on over there.
There's also a defensive lineman at Cal whose name is Legend Journey. And then there's a DB at Rice whose first name is Mo, M-O-H, and his last name is, I'm not kidding, Bility. His name is Mobility.
Is he a mobile quarterback too?
I don't know, but he's a defensive back on Rice's roster.
Oh, he's not a quarterback. Okay.
Central. This guy's parents are so wrong for this. Central Arkansas has a DB. His last name is Person. His first name is Dude.
Dude?
No, Dude Person. His name is Dude Person.
Dude Person.
Dude Person is his name. There's also a safety at Georgia State whose name is D-I-C Hopkins. His first name is D-I-C-E-Y. D-I-C Hopkins.
Yeah. So,
of course, the former wide receiver at Tennessee who transferred somewhere, Squirrel White.
Oh, I love that guy.
And then the last one I've got listed here, an offensive lineman at Howard whose first name is Sir Kanye and last name is Venable. So it's Sir Kanye Venable is his name.
Is he related to Brent?
I have no idea. Probably not. But that's just some of the ones that I happen to have on this list here that I was laughing at the other day. I'm not going to say his name.
No.
But look up the tight end at Pitt State. The Pitt State Gorillas. Look up the tight end's name. Not on camera.
Yeah, I'll do it later. So back to LSU Clemson here. So it looks like Nussmeier was doing pretty good. He got 200. Oh, they actually tied in passing yards. Both Nussmeier and Klubnik both got 230. Although, they both passed for the same amount too. That's crazy. Look at this. You got Klubnik with 19 out of 38 for 230 yards. And then you got Nussmeier with 28 out of 38 for 230 yards. So it took Nussmeier about was it nine more attempts to hit Klubnik's passing to match yards with Klubnik. We'll get the English there at some point. They also actually put in their backup quarterback here with Z Thomas. No, he was a wide receiver. Never mind, I'm wrong. Don't listen to me. They did a trick play. They must have. Anyone who watched the game, get in the chat. Let us know. So rushing, they got Durham. He's a really good back there. for 74 yards. I mean, they did. It looks like they did really good on the ground. Did you said you didn't catch any of the game, right?
I did not. I did not catch any of this game.
So you probably don't know much then. Yeah, I don't really know.
No,
I don't really
I can't comment too much on this game.
Yeah, I can't really say much either, other than like what you see, the tail of the tape there. I mean, that's kind of all we got to go off of. I mean, we could read this over here, but that's taking someone else's words and using them, and we don't want to do that.
I will say it's interesting because Clemson was a lot of national analyst picks to not only make the playoffs but even
Like
picks to go to the
way.
national championship.
Yeah.
And to see them lose week one,
I mean,
it's a little jarring. But
and that-
I mean,
and
LSU has a great roster. I'm just not confident in their coach.
Right, yeah. I mean, I have heard talks of people saying that Nussmeier is going to be one of the greats, which, I mean, I could see that, but it's still week one, so it's hard to tell who's going to be good and who's not.
Right.
I mean, I can say he didn't throw an interception, and he threw a touchdown. Klubnik threw an interception and didn't get a touchdown. The only touchdown they got was with Randall here for 16 yards.
You know,
So
it'll be interesting though. Consider talking about the quarterbacks here with Nussmeier. So I had thought that the Saints, with what they've done at quarterback, with Derek Carr retiring, they've got Spencer Rattler starting. They just drafted Tyler Shuck. I have been joking for a while that I thought it was going to be them doing the tank for Arch because his grandfather Archie Manning played for the Saints and was their greatest QB of all time, maybe.
I mean, it doesn't sound like a whole lot like.
But now it's sounding like Arch may not declare for the draft this year. I think if he had a good year, like if he had like an all-time year, went to the national championship, was a Heisman contender, I think he probably would have went to the NFL. But if this isn't a great year for him, I think he might do what Peyton and Eli have come out and said, that they didn't think that Arch was gonna forego his senior season or his junior season at Texas. If that's the case, you may see the Saints look to draft Garrett Nussmeier, and the reason I say that is because I believe. And I'm sorry if I misspeak here, but I want to say it's Garrett Nussmeier's father is on the staff for the New Orleans Saints. So we may see him be a top pick in the draft this year, for the New Orleans Saints, because I do believe the Saints will have a top 5 pick going into the draft next year. I don't know his name, but I'm pretty sure Garrett Nussmeier's father is on the staff.
Doug Nussmeier. What is he? Doug Nussmeier. He is a offensive coordinator for the Saints.
Yeah, so I would be surprised if they don't draft him if he's there, especially if Arch doesn't declare.
Yeah, I mean, it all depends on like where he's gonna his draft stock, where he's gonna end up on the draft board. Because the Saints do really well this year. If they make it to the playoffs, which I mean, I don't know about that, but well this year. Yeah, no, I'm just just giving the fans the benefit of the doubt that their team might make it.
Yeah, shout out to Juju, who's the only Saints fan I know. I don't think they're doing much this year, bro. Sorry.
I mean, I know one Saints fan, but I don't know if he's watching this.
One Saints fan.
He's from Louisiana as well. But yeah, I mean, it depends on if they can get a high enough draft pick to be able to grab him if he's a high pick, which I mean we don't know yet. I mean, from that first game, I could see him being a high pick. He only missed 10 passes out of the 38 he threw, which is not bad. But I mean, we'll have to watch him through the season to see like how he's going to do. Because I mean, if he does really well, I hope the Lions pick him up. That'd be good. That'd be great. but they're probably going to but he probably won't be there when the Lions can pick because they're going to be low on the draft schedule.
I don't know. I saw some people, some analysts predicting that this morning the season and the playoffs, and 3 of the 4 that were on the show that I was watching predicted that the Lions are going to take a big enough step back that they will miss the playoffs this year because of everything they lost in the coaching staff. Because all said and done, it wasn't just the coordinators, like the position coaches that followed the coordinators to the two different teams. They lost half their staff and had to retool that. And then not only that, but they also lost their interior, the 2/3 of the interior of their line, in the sense that they had to let Kevin Zeitler walk in free agency. Frank Ragnow retired, and now they had to move Graham Glasgow from guard to center. He's playing out of position now. And you've got, to either side of him starting, you've got a second-year player that was drafted in like the 5th round, Christian Mahogany. And then you've got first-year rookie player, Tate Ratledge. Now, I know my team, the Vikings, are starting a first-year player on offensive line, but he was a first-round pick from Ohio State in the national championship and was considered to be one of 3 like NFL-ready offensive linemen in the draft. Tate Ratledge, I believe, was selected in the 3rd round, maybe. And I don't know if I like him start. I don't know if I like 2/3 of your interior line having a combined 1 year of experience on either side of a guy that is good, but he's playing out of position at center. But
I mean, I don't think we should take a step back because I think that if we don't make it this year, we're going to be in rebuild for the next 5 years. So we gotta make something happen.
That's why I was surprised that both coordinators left after last year. I thought they'd stay around for at least 1 more year.
I know, because after this year, we got to get
after
there,
this year. The NFC North belongs to JJ McCarthy, so it's over for y'all after this year.
That's a hard maybe, dog. That's a hard maybe. I don't think that it's gonna go that route. I think he's gonna have some competition. Where the hell is Utah State on this list here? They're not in the top 25 apparently. Utah State. So we're talking. So next we're talking Utah versus UCLA. What are your thoughts on the game while I try to find the stat sheet for it?
Utah UCLA. I didn't get to see this one either, but I did watch the recap and the highlights. Nico looked like shit. And as somebody who came on shows repeatedly last year singing the praises of Nico and what I thought he was going to be at Tennessee, the way he handled the offseason, it has been one blunder after another. And to handle it so badly that you go from making $1.5 million in a state with no state income tax to making right at $1 million in the state, in the state which, as far as I know, has the highest state income tax, to play for a worse team with worse receivers and worse offensive line and a worse defense. Man, I know it's his dad and his uncle or whoever that are his advisors and handling all this stuff, but I'd fire him.
Yeah, I mean,
but on the flip side, I do want to say I didn't get to see the game. I did like I think his name's Devin Dampier, the quarterback from for Utah now. But last year he was on New Mexico, and thank God he wasn't on New Mexico when we played him this year, because I liked him last year on New Mexico, and I'm happy to see him thriving at a big school.
Yeah, I mean, I will say if we look at the stats here, we got Utah. They absolutely demolished UCLA with 43-10. But if you look at the stats here, it's even worse. Passing yards, 206 to 136. UCLA only got 136. That's not like too crazy of a gap there. I mean, that's something you might see in a regular game, But this next thing, holy crap, right here. They almost got 200. They got 202 more rushing yards than UCLA did. UCLA only got 84, and Utah got 286. They completely demolished that defensive line on UCLA. Like, that's crazy. I don't think I have seen that big of a spread since Michigan v. Penn State.
Right.
Like, that is insane. I mean, like Dampier, he did a good job. 21 for 25 completions for 206 passing yards, 2 touchdowns. That's pretty impressive for like shaking off the postseason rust. You know, what do you got to say?
So I don't disagree with you. I think everything you said was spot on. And I know I'm really bad about this, and I apologize, but I am going to sidetrack for a second because I just read one of the most savage quotes I've ever seen from Jim Harbaugh. So recently, former Steeler, Ryan Clark, basically said that Justin Herbert wasn't any good. Justin Herbert is a starting quarterback for Jim Harbaugh's team, the Los Angeles Chargers. This is Jim Harbaugh's response to Ryan Clark. Quote, Ryan Clark says Justin Herbert hasn't won anything. That's rich coming from a guy whose biggest claim to fame is riding shotgun on a defense that Troy Polamalu and James Harrison drove. Justin's out here carrying a franchise. Ryan carries a microphone. Next question.
That's crazy. So now we look at the UCLA side. Nico, I'm not even gonna say his last name. There we go.
Iamaleava.
Iamaleava. I can't do it, man.
Bro, I struggled with that so much last year.
This is the basket backsit situation right here.
Iamaleava. Although it is funny considering everything that happened with this exit from Tennessee, that you could also pronounce his last name Iamaleava. But it's Iamaleava.
Iamaleava. All right. Well, I'm gonna just say Nico I here. Completed 11 out of his 22 attempts. Yeah, he definitely deserved that paycheck at Tennessee. He only passed for 136 yards. He got intercepted. You know who didn't get intercepted? Dampier. He only got 1 touchdown. Yeah, he definitely deserved that money he was trying to get out of Tennessee. That's for sure.
I mean, the fall of Nico Iamaleava from 5-star quarterback, highest paid quarterback in NIL at one time, to projected first-round pick in the NFL draft, to where I am worried that he's going to end up because of all this. I think it one day will be like a case study in how not to handle NIL.
Yeah, I mean, I will say one thing here. One thing good about what Nico did, he got over half of the rushing yards. He got exactly half of the rushing yards that they got that entire game. 47 rushing yards from Nico.
And the thing is, he's not even technically a running quarterback.
Right. I mean, I don't know if that says more about like Utah's defense or if they just felt bad and let him through.
Yeah. Like I said, it'll be a case study in how to derail a career.
Right. Yeah. I mean, also, you look at the Utah side here. Holy crap! Dampier did the same thing. 87 rushing yards, like got 40 more yards than Nico did. Parker here, he's a running back. He got 62 for 11 carries. Rogers, also a running back, 60. Did they get their whole running back? Did they get the whole offense here to run the ball? Yeah, even their backup quarterback got 20 yards. Like Snowden here. Wait, is that a cornerback? They gave the ball to a quarterback. Like cornerback with a C, not with a Q. Cornerback.
They're just like, who else wants to run the ball? You want to run it? All right, go in the game.
Yeah, 15 yards with a cornerback. Then the last two. Oh, then they got a random athlete. I don't know what his position is, but it says athlete.
They recruited him as an athlete, and they haven't even officially given him a position yet, and they still put him in the game.
I'm guessing right now his position is water boy. They're like, hey, you want to run the ball? Come on, let's go. We got this. That's crazy. Oh man, that is extremely embarrassing for UCLA right here. Let's see if they have anything wild for receivers on on the receiving side of this. Oh, they got a linebacker with receiving yards.
To be fair, these may be players that play both ways too.
Right, and they also have a safety with receiving yards. What do they got here? They got a wide receiver, tight end, and then they're. I'm guessing this must be a two-way player, Snowden, then, because he's listed as a cornerback, but I'm assuming he's a cornerback wide receiver, kind of like I'm blanking on his name right now. Heisman winner, Travis Hunter. That's the word. And that wasn't a ploy to get you to say his name because I know you don't like him because you think Genty should have won.
It's not that I don't like him. I have no problem with Hunter. The two problems that I have around him are A, Genty should have won the Heisman. B, everybody in the fucking country tried to tell him to break up with that girl, and he said, "Leave us alone." And now they're married, and now she's filing for divorce. And you know what? We tried to tell you, bro. So
that's crazy. All right. So that's for that's the Utah UCLA game. That was embarrassing for UCLA there. Do we want to touch on the embarrassment that Belichick got, or do we want to move on to Notre Dame versus Miami?
Here's the only thing I'll say about the Belichick game. First off, hats off to TCU. Them recreating Bill and his girlfriend's mermaid photo in the end zone was A+ celebration. And shout out to our guy Benjamin Hall, who transferred there. He actually looked good for UNC despite them losing the way they did.
Yeah.
What the fuck, Bill? Like, hold on. They're quarterbacks. Look up the roster real quick. They're quarterbacks. So Gio Lopez, I know him, but there's another one, Max something. I can't think of his last name.
Max Bredesen?
No, not Max Bredesen, fucker. That's our
I don't know why
our
that
H-back.
Okay, I don't know why that was the first name to pop in my head. That's probably why.
He's their backup quarterback. Max something. Anyway, Max is a pocket passer.
Oh.
He's a statue, but he's an accurate thrower.
So it's Johnson, right?
Yeah, there we go. Max Johnson. He's a pocket passer. Okay. Yep. Gio Lopez is a running quarterback. He's an athlete. He is the guy that you bring in when you want to run QB runs, read options, speed options, whatever. You bring in Gio Lopez from South Alabama. You name him the starter, and then you have him play like a pocket passer.
Yeah. He only passed for 69 yards.
And why is your girlfriend coming down onto the field and talking to you in the middle of games? Is she a coach? Is she giving you pointers? What is she doing on the sideline?
Actually, I have a theory about that. I think the reason why this game went so bad is I think before the game, she went up to him and asked him, "Hey, can I call the plays for this game?" And he was like, "Absolutely." And I think that's why they only got 14 points. Because I think he was letting his girlfriend call the shots. That would explain it, because this doesn't seem like a Belichick type of point differential here. That, or he thought he could pay the reps off like he did in the NFL, and that didn't work out so well. He forgot he's not Ohio State or any of the big schools who can do that. He's North Carolina, and he's a new college head coach. But that is jokes, by the way. That is not in any way a accusation. So do not take that seriously. We joke over here at the Gamers Sideline. We joke. Let's talk about Notre Dame Miami over here. This was a pretty close game. The debut of the QB who was promised at Notre Dame, CJ Carr. He unfortunately, from what I understand, he looked good. He looked good through the game. He made a mistake here. He got an interception. You know who didn't get an interception? And this might upset Dallas fan. I know it does. Bryce didn't get an interception. Probably should have, but he didn't. But Carr threw for 19 completions out of 30 attempts for 221 yards, 2 touchdowns. Now, he does have that over Bryce. He got 2 touchdowns. But I don't think our game plan was to try to get as many passing touchdowns as we could. We were trying to keep it mellow. And that's what we did, and we still came away with the win. But we look at Notre Dame, Miami here. See Carson Beck, I think is his name, correct? Yeah.
Yep.
He got 20 completions out of
Transferred
30.
from Georgia down to Miami this year.
Yep. He got 20 completions out of 30 for 205 passing yards, 2 touchdowns, and look at that. Look at this. Goose egg for interceptions. Goose egg for interceptions. I guess that's why Miami beat out Notre Dame. I know there's more to it, but if you really want to break it down to one stat that caused one team to lose over the other, when you're looking at the stats, when you see an interception and then you see none, generally it makes sense why the other team won by looks like 3 points. Yeah, 3 points. So let's look at the yards here. The total yards. We got passing yards here, 221 to Miami's 205. Then we got the rushing yards. See, they weren't able to get it done on the ground at all. 93 yards to Miami's 119. Seems to be a pretty common occurrence so far in the games we've looked at. Generally, one team has a lot more rushing yards than the other, or if it's close, it's usually the team that won that has the most rushing yards. Most of the time. I mean, the exception is Ohio State, where Texas beat them out for every single category except for touchdowns. Because for some reason, Sark couldn't figure out what to do in the end zone, and Arch Manning couldn't find a man open, even though Wingo was right in his face, and he pretended like Wingo didn't exist. So, what are your thoughts on the Notre Dame Miami game?
I think that Carson Beck is good, although I think he crumbles in big moments. I think CJ Carr is decent, but he's not what he's been hyped up to be by some people. He's going to be a good quarterback. He's not going to be a top-tier quarterback. I think that Marcus Freeman's a very likable coach, but he got out-coached by by Cristobal in this game. And I just think that I think that Miami's been paying huge bags of money to get players for the last 3 or 4 years. You can't recruit like that and not eventually have something to show for it.
Right. Yeah. I mean, and it looks like they did a pretty decent job. They got all of their everyone in on the run game against Notre Dame. So I mean, that could be a point of contention for Notre Dame, or they could have been doing what we were doing in our game, and Miami just took advantage of that, where we were rotating in guys on defense to see like who would gel with who. I mean, maybe Notre Dame was doing that same thing on defense, and that's where Miami saw that and took advantage of that. I didn't watch the game. I heard about it secondhand from the fan that likes to believe that Notre Dame is the best dynasty in all of college football for some reason. I mean, some of these Notre Dame fans out here are pretty wild, specifically one that we know of. But I mean, he makes a good point once in a blue moon. But that's besides the point. From what I can tell for this game, it looked like it was a pretty good game. It looked like it was pretty close for the majority of the game. We got Miami getting 14-7-6, and Notre Dame getting most of their points in the fourth quarter, which is pretty impressive. So they must have actually decided to start trying in the fourth after not doing anything for the first and the third.
Well, and some of the play calls were just weird, man. They were calling like run plays on 3rd and long, and it just seemed weird. But like, I don't know. It felt to me like they were trying to play like. If the problem we had last year at Michigan was Kirk Campbell tried to run the same offense that we ran with JJ and Blake, with Davis Warren, Alex Orji at quarterback, with Donovan Edwards and Khalil Mullins at running back, instead of playing to their strengths. I got the same feeling watching Notre Dame. It felt like they were trying to run Riley Leonard's version of the offense with CJ Carr. CJ Carr's a decent athlete, but he's not a runner like Riley Leonard was. So to sit there and run him the way that they did, when they've got supposedly one of the better running backs in the country, Jeremiah Love, in the backfield, it doesn't make sense. Like, how did you not game plan and scheme up an offense for CJ Carr? To me, it feels like a failure of the staff.
Yeah, I mean, and I honestly, I don't think Marcus Freeman is all that he's been cracked up to be, but I mean, that might just be because I just want to go against the flow of how a lot of people see him, and because of like people hyping him up, but yeah, I definitely want to see more out of what they're gonna do this season. I can see Carr coming back from this loss and maybe commanding the offense a little bit better in the next game, hopefully. But only time will tell, and we'll have to wait and see what we're gonna see. My
Right.
English decided to cut out at the end there, and my mind decided not to go with what I was thinking. Uh, and regardless, let's head on to the second part of today's show. Let's talk week 2. We
All right.
got we got Illinois versus Duke coming in on I think that's today actually. No, that's tomorrow. Coming tomorrow. It's I believe it is at I can't remember. I forgot who was the away team. It's at Wallace Wade Stadium in Durham, North Carolina. I'm assuming Duke is home then,
Yeah,
because
it
I
is.
don't think Illinois has a stadium in North Carolina.
Yeah, so it's interesting, and I know this right. What I'm about to talk about is like 100% just in fun,
Yeah.
but I am doing a slow sim series of the Big Ten teams each week,
Now that's
starting on
on
Sunday through Thursday or Friday in this case.
and that's on College Football 26 for those who may
Yep,
not
College
know.
Football 26, and I stream it over on Kinetik 615 Plays.
So check
So
that out.
I just finished earlier today. I finished week 2 of the Big Ten series, and each game is watchable if you want to. But when I did the Illinois and Duke game, Duke actually beat Illinois. Unranked beat a ranked team, 42-38.
Yeah, because
Now,
right now Illinois is number 11 and Duke is unranked.
right
They're
now,
both 1-0,
Illinois
though.
was a very highly hyped up team coming into this season. Some were even predicting them to beat Ohio State this year, to make the playoffs this year, to potentially go for the Big Ten championship or conference championship. And I'm not going to say it's impossible, because we saw what Indiana did last year, and some of their points do make sense. However, looking at this game, listen, I like Brian Altmaier. I think he's fine. I don't like Illinois' coach, but Brian Altmaier, their quarterback, is fine. He lost his top
Luke
2 wide receiver.
Altmaier.
Is that not what I said? I said Altmaier.
You said Brian. It's Luke.
Oh, Luke Altmaier. Sorry,
Luke
I don't know where I
Altmaier.
got Brian. Luke Altmaier. But like, he lost his 2 biggest wide receiver targets last year. And they just listen. They can be good, but they're not great in recruiting. They don't have a ton of blue chips. They've got if I remember right, they've got a very much of an older team, like an upperclassman team. So that experience does matter. Their offensive line are all veterans, upperclassmen. But Duke brought in some really interesting transfers. They brought in a quarterback who I am very, very high on. That was at Tulane last year, Darian Mensah.
Yeah.
Very good quarterback. I personally think he has a higher ceiling than Luke Altmaier. And this is a little bit of a homer thing, I guess, because Darian Mensah is from Michigan, I believe. I think. Maybe I'm wrong. But I do know that they got Andrew Anthony, who was a Michigan player that went to Oklahoma and then transferred to Duke this year. And I kind of like Duke here. And I'll be honest, oh man, I go back and forth because like I think that it's going to be a close game either way. I don't think it's going to be as high scoring as the simulation that I did, but I'm going to say like Duke over Illinois. It's going to be something like 27-24 or 24-21. I don't even know what the betting line is for the game, but but yeah, I have a feeling Duke's going to upset Illinois. I might be wrong on it. I think it's going to be a super close game either way. But I
Right.
really like Darian Mensah more than Luke Altmaier, and I like their receiving core a little bit better. Like I said, Illinois has a very good offensive line, but I feel like everything else is just kind of like a little bit above average.
Yeah, like last week, Illinois dominated Western Illinois 52-3, which I mean I don't think that's really saying much because I mean Western Illinois isn't like a top tier program, but it did showcase a strong offense led by the quarterback Luke Altmaier with 17 out of 21 receptions for 217 yards, garnering 3 passing touchdowns, which I mean, granted, it was against Western Illinois, but I mean that's not a bad starting record to start your season out. And then you have the running back Aiden Lowry. I want to say
Lowry, I think Lowry.
Lowry, maybe. I don't know if it's wrong. Tell us how to pronounce it in the chat. He got 9 carries for 101 yards with 2 rushing touchdowns. That's pretty good. Again, Western Illinois. It's not a great program, but still the fact that he was able to take 9 carries for 101 yards and get 2 touchdowns out of that kind of a run game is still really great. And then you have Duke over here who beat Elon for 45-17 with transfer quarterback Darian Menesaw.
Wait, when did Elon Musk get a college? Did he buy a college?
I might be. It might have just like put something else in. I don't remember who they played week 1. It just says Elon. ELON.
Hold on.
Who'd they play week 1? Because
That's
this is apparently wrong. Anyway, they defeated their week 1 opponent 45-17 with transfer quarterback Darian Menesaw. They got 389 passing yards for 27 completions. That's not bad. 3 touchdowns. Wide receiver Cooper Barkay was the standout of that game, getting 5 receptions for 117 yards. Currently, the series is tied 1-1 historically, with Illinois favored by 3 points and a 49.5 point over under for the betting line if that's something you're into. Both teams boost strong defenses, but Illinois' experience and Duke's passing game.
They're not making noise.
Illinois. No, this is plural Illinois. Illinois's or whatever, Illinois. Anyway, but Illinois' experience and Duke's passing game make this a close contest. English, work with me here, man. This is a close contest. The prediction right now that I've seen floating around is 27-24.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a close game. I just think that it's going to be Duke that pulls it out. I think they're going to upset Illinois.
I think, it's 27-24 for Illinois to win. 27 Illinois.
Elon Phoenix. What is Elon Phoenix?
Oh, so I was right.
What is Elon Phoenix? Hold on.
I think that's like a FCS like school. I have no idea.
CAA football? What?
DAA. So that's like a
NCAA Division I FCS. Okay.
Yeah.
Elon Phoenix football program is the intercollegiate American football team for the Elon University, located in the U.S. state of North Carolina. The school first fielded a football team in 1909, and I've still never heard of them until today, and currently competes in the NCAA Division I football championship subdivision.
So now moving on to the second game we're going to talk about is the Cryhawk rivalry.
Cyhawk.
Iowa. What?
Cyhawk.
Whatever.
Cyhawk. It's the Cyclones and the Hawkeyes.
Cyhawk rivalry. Cyhawk rivalry. Iowa versus Iowa State. That's also tomorrow, so make sure y'all check that out if you're an Iowa fan. If not, then just wait until 6 o'clock Central Time for the Michigan game, which is going to be way better. What are your thoughts on the Cyhawk rivalry this year? Who you got? What are your thoughts?
I think it's going to be Iowa State this year. I think Rocco Becht is a really good quarterback. I think they've got an all around better team, and I think despite all the hype, um, Iowa's transfer quarterback Gronowski, I think he's fool's gold. I don't think he's going to be as good as anyone was predicting him to be. I do think, as usual, Iowa's defense is going to be decent, but I just don't think their offense is going to be any good. I think Iowa State wins. I'm going to say 21-17.
So the Cyhawk rivalry sees Iowa take on the number 16 Iowa State. Obviously, that's the whole point of the rivalry. Iowa State is favored by 3 points with a 41.5 point total. They're predicting a low scoring game in past meetings. Last year, for example, Iowa State edged Iowa 20-19, with Iowa going 303 yards and Iowa State getting 361 yards, both with 2 touchdowns. Iowa's defense is stout, but their offense struggled, like you said. Example, like they got 235 yards in a 20-13 win over Iowa State in 2023. Iowa State's recent form suggests a slight edge at home. The prediction right now that's floating around is Iowa State by 21 and Iowa 23. So Iowa State's the favorite to win the Cyhawk rivalry this year, it seems. So I mean, you weren't far off. I think the next game we got on the list is Ole Miss versus Kentucky, number 20 facing Kentucky unranked. And it's going to be in Lexington, Kentucky. So the Ole Miss is on the road. How do you think they're going to do?
This is the I'm sorry, I zoned out because I was reading. I got sent something about Bryce Underwood. Sorry.
Ole Miss versus Kentucky.
Ole Miss versus Kentucky. Okay, so
Yeah.
if I remember right, Kentucky upset Ole Miss last year. Upset Lane Kiffin's team last year. I personally, I admit Lane Kiffin's a good coach and great recruiter. I also think he just doesn't have it to be like the top, like a top coach. Let me see. Coming into the show, I had down that I thought Kentucky was going to upset them again, but I'm going to flip it. I actually think Ole Miss wins this week. I'm going to say Ole Miss goes into Kentucky and returns the favor where Kentucky upset them last year. They're going to go in and upset them in their home, and it's going to be like a 10-point game. So give me 31-20 Ole Miss.
So number 20 Ole Miss, who's currently 1-0, faces Kentucky, who's also currently 1-0. They're obviously both SEC teams, so this is a clash of the SEC. I think it's one of the first. It's not the first SEC game. We had Clemson, LSU last week, and a couple others. So anyway, Ole Miss is a 10-point favorite currently in their 2024 matchup. As you said, Kentucky upset Ole Miss. It was 20-17. Kentucky getting away with the win on that one, with Ole Miss posting 353 offensive yards to Kentucky's 336, but struggling on third downs. They only made 10% of their third down conversions last season. Ole Miss has a strong offense. They got 589 yards versus Duke in a 5-20 win on. Oh, that was from last season, the end of last season. That was in January. But Kentucky's defense is resilient. This game hinges on Ole Miss's quarterback Jackson Dart exploiting Kentucky's secondary. Right now, the prediction, and you hit it right on the nail, is Ole Miss for 31, Kentucky for 20, with Ole Miss getting the upset. I don't really think it's an upset.
From where, you or from a site?
That is the prediction that's floating around. Currently, it's coming from CBS Sports.
Gotcha. Just a disclaimer: I have not looked at CBS Sports. I
Yeah,
have
you hit it
no
right
idea.
on the nail. Like exactly. You said Ole Miss 31, Kentucky 20.
Like I've got notes that I put down about each team, but I'm kind of just winging the predictions right now.
Yeah, I'm going off of the notes that I got here that I pulled. So game 4, we got Oklahoma State, who is unranked against number 6 Oregon, and this is taking place in Oregon. Who do you got? What do you think of that game?
I think this game is going to be an absolute blowout. I think Oregon is going to look to make a statement. They did not start last year strong. They almost got beat by Ashton Genty and the Broncos. The team that we played last week, New Mexico, while they played the Idaho Vandals, it was the same coach, the same quarterback, and most of the New Mexico team. A lot of the Vandals transferred with their coach, and they gave Oregon problems early last year. I think Oregon's going to come out and make a statement against another Power 4 team. I think Oklahoma State's definitely in a rebuilding mode. I think Mike Gundy's going to be in over his head a little bit on this game. And I think we're going to get I almost want to say it's going to be right around 30 points, but it's probably going to be just under 30. I'll say it'll be like a 28-point game. So let's go like 45-17 Oregon.
All right. So Oklahoma State, currently unranked, takes on number 6 Oregon, with Oregon favored by 28.5 points. Oregon's offense was dominant in a 38-9 win over Illinois last season, amassing 527 yards and 5 touchdowns. Oklahoma State's record, or no, not record, recent English, let's work here. Recent games show offensive firepower, getting 481 yards in a 27-24 win over Oklahoma in 2023. That's not recent. But in inconsistency against top defenses, Oregon's quarterback, Dylan Gabriel's gone. You're on crack.
Listen, they've got Dante Moore at quarterback, and I like Dante Moore. He's a Michigan kid. I think he's good. He's not quite Bryce Underwood, but he's right. Really good. They've got Evan Stewart at wide receiver. They've got DeCorian Moore, who is a true freshman, but I think he's going to be a game changer at wide receiver. And I mean, they've got like a slew of really good running backs, Whittingham and Hughes. And on defense, Matayo Uagalele, the Uagalele that's actually pretty good.
Yeah.
He's probably one of the better defensive ends in the country. I'm very high on Oregon this year.
Yeah, I mean, I can see them going far, and it's actually pretty well reflected in the game here. Because, like you said, I think they're going to be going hard. They're going to be going trying to get some make a statement, especially when it comes to their later games later down the season. They want to show them what they're about. I think I'd have to go with a high scoring game too for Oregon, 42 to let's say 15 or no 17 15 to 42 to 17 for Oregon winning.
I mean that sounds fair. I mean that's almost right in line with what I said. Just so you're basically giving them a field goal less.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think they'd have to, like, once they get up that far. I mean, I think they just try stuff, and I don't think they go for that extra field goal. Now for the game that we've all been waiting for, the one that's happening tomorrow at 7:30 Eastern Standard Time, 6:30 Central Time for you people in the Central. The game of the week. The game of the week. Michigan against Oklahoma in Norman. What are your thoughts on that game?
I mean, it's completely a homer take. I cannot separate my biases here. Here's the thing. Okay, I was thinking about this. This is interesting. I wish we had an Oklahoma fan on here right now.
Because if only there was an Oklahoma fan watching right now who saw the link and would hit the link and come on and talk Oklahoma.
Because if I said one of these teams has had major questions at quarterback last year, brought in a highly regarded quarterback this year who's going to be making his first start for the team and has a lot to prove against big time competition. A team that had a highly rated running back room that underperformed last year, and now with a couple key recruits and a big time transfer is set to right the ship for the running game this year. A team that had a lot of offensive line questions, and this year coming in with a sort of revamped offensive line. A team with a strong and deep defensive line that is potentially the strength of their defense. A team that has strong a linebacking core, and a lot of questions and a young secondary. Both Michigan and Oklahoma fans could say that I just described their team. The similarities between our teams are insane. A lot of the same issues we had last year and the same things that we did in the offseason, they did as well. The biggest difference, obviously, is that their quarterback, John Mateer, came from Washington State, has not played against top-tier defenses, but does have experience where, we've got Bryce Underwood, who's a highly touted generational prospect, but is a true freshman. But we both had to bring in new offensive coordinators to revamp our offense. It's just it's almost like to steal something from my friend Darren over on his show, and he stole this from Nerd Culture. This feels like a mirror match. Okay, it's in a lot of ways we're playing against ourselves. So we've got Wink Martindale calling our defense. He's an innovative defensive guru, a genius that's designed a championship-winning defensive scheme. They've got Brent Venables, who's done the same thing.
Yeah,
and it's there's so many similarities that it really comes down. It's going to come down to who makes fewer mistakes. And if I mean, it's going to be a close game. It's going to be a touchdown or less, no matter who wins. I believe right now Oklahoma's a 5-point favorite. I'm going to say I think Michigan is not going to lose by 5 points. I think they're going to either Michigan's going to win outright, or they will lose by less than those 5 points. They'll lose by a field goal or give or take. But if I'm going to make a prediction, I do think Michigan wins. I think it's going to be like a 28-21 or 24-17 type of game.
So right now Oklahoma is favored by 5.5 points, which I kind of agree with. I mean, I understand Oklahoma being the favorite, especially with like the weapons that they have on their team, like with Burks and Moneyline Mateer, as we like to call him. But I think Michigan, our key to victory, as I've said, like over on the Maze Madman show before, is going to be establishing that run game early. If we can do that, we can get exhaust their defensive line and pull their secondary in. I think that's going to be our key to victory when it comes to winning out against Oklahoma, because, yeah, they have great secondary. Ours is kind of questionable, but we have been known to be that team that stops the air raid strategy that Oklahoma likes to employ. I mean, we were built to beat Ohio State every year. That's what we do.
Well, and
Ohio State's
one
of Ohio State's favorite things is to throw the ball, and we're built to stop that.
Well, and that's the thing, is that the SEC is very much a passing league, where the Big Ten historically is more of a running up, ground and pound, hit you in the face in the trenches league. Ohio State was the anomaly in the Big Ten because they built their team to compete with the SEC.
Yeah.
Michigan then built their team to beat that team.
And with that, inadvertently, we ended up being the team that can beat SEC teams.
Correct.
Which we have seen in the past, and also we're going to see in the future. Our team is built to stop the air raid. That's the one thing that we do very well. Granted, this year we have some questions in the secondary that need to be answered which I think will be answered with this Oklahoma game. A lot of people are worried that Barham's going to be out for the first half. I think that's honestly a good thing, not just because of the fact that he might get ejected again for targeting, for hitting Mateer with the crown on the crown of his helmet. But I think it's good because by the time that Mateer Barham comes back in, their offensive line is going to be exhausted. He's going to come in fresh and ready to go. The offensive line is going to be exhausted by that point. I think that'll give us kind of an edge when it comes to the second half of the game. Now, granted, we still have to make that impact on the first half. And I think if we establish that run game in the first half of the game, that's going to be monumental to opening up the path for Bryce to show out what he can do. And a lot of people are thinking that Oklahoma's going to get some picks on us. They might be able to get some picks on us, but they're going to have broken hands because of it, because Bryce throws fastballs. He doesn't. He's got to work on that a little bit.
I want to call out something on our team. Listen, I'm very high on this kid. I think he's going to be great at Michigan. But, bro, Andrew Marsh, come on. We talked all offseason about you coming in as a true freshman and being a key contributor at the wide receiver position. There was a play last week where Bryce, it was a timing throw. Bryce, threw it right in his, it was right here in his face. And he didn't even turn.
It looked like the game. Like when you throw someone, it just bounces off
he didn't even turn and see the ball. He didn't did he not realize he was the second read on that play? And had he been aware and caught that play or caught that ball, that was a touchdown. That would have been the highlight of the game.
Yeah.
What are you doing, Andrew? Come on, man.
You definitely can't do that. I'm willing to bet that boy was running laps after the game for that one.
Listen, I think Marsh has got probably the highest ceiling of all the receivers we've got on the team right now. I think he's going to be really, really good. But come on, bro. If you're the second read on that play, you've got to know that. You've got to be aware of that the ball might be coming your way and be looking for it.
I fully agree there. That's something that we definitely need. That's one of the things we got to button up. We button that up. We button that offensive line. And then we're looking good. We get granted, though, secondary is still a question. We haven't really seen them get super heavily challenged. And that's something that we're going to see in this Oklahoma game. We're also going to see how Bryce is going to do under the pressure of being on the road in a hostile environment over at Norman. Granted, they're not as hostile as going to the big house. I guess the big house south would be a good way to put it, at the toilet bowl there in Nut Tree U territory. Luckily they come to us this year, so that shouldn't be an issue for Bryce. But the way that I kind of look at it is, if Bryce can play in the big house, I think Bryce can play in Norman.
I do too.
It's pretty similar.
Norman is a
smaller, but
it is a big stadium. It is a difficult one to play in, but I don't think he's going to be phased, man. He's shown the poise. Nothing really phases him. I think that he's going to get surprised by a couple looks that Brent Venables is going to scheme up for him. But I don't think he's going to be phased by the moment. I don't feel like it's going to be, too big of a moment for him.
That is one thing that a lot of Oklahoma fans are touting on Bryce, is the fact that he's new, and they think that he's going to be shook by specifically the jump around in Norman. And I'm like, you got to understand, Bryce is playing in the big house, I think the biggest stadium in the world. You can't say that going to Norman is going to be a huge factor on his psyche, when in reality,
I'm confident that Chip Lindsey's going to have him prepared for that loud crowd and silent counts and timing. He's going to have Bryce prepared for that environment.
Absolutely.
But we're not going to. But here's the thing: I can't imagine that we're going to put the game on Bryce's shoulders. I think in this game, you're going to see a very much we're going to go to a similar play style as to what Jim Harbaugh did in 2023. We're going to lean on the defense. We're going to lean on the run game. And we're going to have Bryce step up when we need him to and when the situation allows us to catch them off guard. But I don't think that they're going to ask him to do more than they absolutely have to in this game. Bryce is a generational talent. He's by far not a game manager. But all we need him to do is manage the game and not make mistakes and ride on the back of our run game and our defense.
Yeah, and I think with that, my prediction for the Oklahoma-Michigan game is I also think it's going to be close. I will agree with you there. However, I think that it's going to be within a touchdown. I think Oklahoma's going to come. I think it's going to be 21-28 for Michigan. I think that's what we're going to be looking at. I think Michigan's going to get an extra touchdown in what many people would consider to be garbage time, like the last couple minutes of the fourth quarter. And I think that's going to give Michigan the lead over Oklahoma. I think they're going to be tied going into the fourth. They're going to have a shootout in the fourth, and Michigan's going to walk away with that extra touchdown. It's going to be 28 points Michigan, 21 points Oklahoma.
Yep, I agree with that.
And with that said, I think that's going to be our time for today, unless anyone is ready to call up and talk about the game. It doesn't look like it, though. I don't see anyone.
I do believe we've got a few people that have been watching for a minute, so I just want to say shout out. Thank y'all for tuning in. You're welcome to comment in the chat, and if we have the link in the chat, like it is right now on shows, you're more than welcome to click and call in and chat with us.
Right. Yeah. I mean, we like having other viewpoints, especially on Football Fridays, where we're going to be talking all things football, from college football to the NFL. Every Friday around the same time. We might end up going earlier some Fridays, depending on game time. We're going to try to schedule around the NFL games that happen on Friday. So, I mean, if you guys like this, just let us know by smashing that like button. And if you're not subscribed, subscribe right now. Like right now, go down there, hit the button. It's free. It's very free. Same with that like button. It's free. It doesn't cost you anything. It might cost you a second to click the button, but it's free. We all like free. Free is the best thing. Just like this channel right now. It's free. It's free for you to watch. We don't have ads right now. We're not monetized. When we do get monetized, we'll make sure those ads are tasteful, just for you free YouTubers out there. One at the front, one at the end. Easy. Also, if you haven't yet, you should check the links in the description down below. There's a lot of stuff down there. We got links to Kinetik's channels. We got links to Kinetik's GoFundMe. If you want to help him out, feel free. I'm sure he would really appreciate it if you did. They got links to my stuff, my YouTube channel. I'm also over on Twitch. If you haven't seen Twitch, if you're on mobile, just watch YouTube. It's horrible.
Link to our Spotify on there too, right?
Yeah, we're also on Spotify too now. If you guys want to listen to our wonderful, amazing voices when you're driving about, doing something like cooking, cleaning the house, we're on Spotify. We got like 11 episodes up there right now.
That's for if you're driving and want to listen and you don't want to get a ticket for watching us on your phone.
Yeah.
Not that I've ever done anything like that while driving.
Yeah,
but
we would never do that. We don't break laws here. We break scores. Yeah, we're on Spotify. We got 11 episodes up there. The last 2 episodes, I will say, we got 2 interviews on there that you should definitely check out. We got the first ever interview with a madman that we did, where we interviewed the Maze Madman. If you guys haven't seen that, you guys should definitely check that out if you want to get an insight into the mind of what created the madman and where he's going next. We also did an interview with a displaced Ohio State fan who's in Michigan, Garrison, from the Voice of College, the Ohio State app, the Voice of College Football, and he's also from the Scarlet and Blue Show. If you haven't checked that channel, and either of those channels out, you should definitely check it out. Also, check out the Maze Madman. He's a friend of the channel. Definitely check him out. Kinetik, do you want to have anything that you want to plug? What do you got going on?
No, I mean just the normal stuff. I'll be on the Final Whistle Network tomorrow morning for a show around 9 to 10 a.m. I'll be hopping in there to talk college football with them. My normal channels, Kinetik 615 for sports talk, Kinetik 615 plays for gaming. Also on Twitch at Kinetik 615. On all social media platforms at Kinetik 615. Hit me up on X. Send me a message. We're easy to talk to, and would love to hear from you also. Yeah, just the normal stuff.
And clearly, we're not too big to talk to our fans yet. So, I mean, we'll get there. One day we'll get there. If we stop talking to you, that's because we finally made it. And it's all thanks to you guys. I'm just kidding. We'll always try to reach out to any fans that want to reach out to us. We'll do our best to keep in touch. Anyway, for me, you can find me at Lichemax 626 on both Twitch, YouTube, and over on Twitter, also known as X if you're from the new generation. You can also find me over at the Maze Madman Show as the behind the scenes producing it for him. Also, during the season, I'll be the stat boy there, so you'll see me putting up live predictions called Lich Picks. Definitely check that out over at Maze Out Mondays, is where you'll find that. And I think that does it for today's show. That's our predictions for week 2. That's our recap of week 1. If you enjoyed it, hit that like button, like I said before, and share this with all of your friends, families. If you have an ex-girlfriend you want to bother, send us to her. We'll bother her for you. That's the service we provide. I guess until next time, catch us right here on the Gamers Sideline Football Fridays, every Friday at 7 Eastern Standard Time. Make sure you cheer loud, play hard, and always go blue. And catch us next time at the Gamers Sideline.
From joystick dreams to Friday night lights, it's controllers and cleats under podcast mics with Lichemax dropping deep like he's throwing a bomb, and Kinetik calling audible, staying calm in the storm. From the field to the sticks, yeah, we bring the heat. With Kinetik and Lichemax, never miss a beat. When the final whistle blows or the credits roll, we're signing off strong, that's how gamers take control. Catch us on the sideline, where legends chill, where the playbooks flip and the passion's real. If you heard the takes, then you know the drill. Till next time, fam, keep it clutch, keep it skill. From the field to the sticks, yeah, we bring the heat. With Kinetik and Lichemax, never miss a beat. When the headset's off and the lights go low, we'll be back next game, y'all already know. We out.